Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video I'm going to take you through all the steps you need to know to design a mission for Rogue Warriors, a Modern Warfare skirmish game. In part 1, we've already gone through how to assemble a team, and part 2, we went through the core rules. Now this is the final part in the series, so with these 3 videos, you'll have all the information you need to play Rogue Warriors. So let's get started, and in the book you'll find the design a mission section, and I'm going to go through that section now so you'll know exactly what to do to create your own missions for the game. We're going to look at insertion methods. We're going to have a look at the mission builder table in detail. This is going to give you thousands of combinations to create your own missions with. Then we're going to look at deployment zones, mission example, and to get started you're going to need a blank mission sheet like this one, and these are available in the book and PDF and on our website in full colour, or you can also get the printer friendly version. Once you've printed off a sheet, you're going to work through it step by step following the sequence in this video. And here's a completed mission sheet that you can find from the core book. First up, let's look at insertion. So there's 6 different insertion methods, and you can roll using the D6 or you can choose it. Now in the core rules, there's no direct mechanics linked to this table, but as we start playing the narrative expansions like the Tiger Blood campaign expansion, then this is going to come into effect. So we'll be looking at how weather affects things and deciding which insertion method you choose. That's going to give you a benefit to the mission as well. For now though, it's just fun to pick one, and it just plays in with the whole theme of the game, and once you imagine your team and how they're going to approach the target, then that just adds to the narrative of it. So with this table, there's basically the insertion, there's the benefit, and then there's the negative. Then we've got the main part of this video, which is the mission builder table. This is designed so that you can create missions for your game, and this is going to give you thousands of different combinations. You can choose what you like from the table, or you can roll on it to make it totally random, which is fun, but I think it's good to do a bit of both. So the table is just one section that you see here, that's the top half, and then this is the bottom half. So you're going to get 36 options for all the different columns. So let's work through those now. First up, we've got this section. So this is basically the D6-6. So you roll 1 D6 for the first number, another D6 for the second number. Then you've got your prompt. So a prompt is just, you might want to just dip into this just to get an idea for a mission. So you can roll or choose, and it will be something like jungle, ambush, night, bridge, demolition, charge, VIP, escort, mission. So you've got all these different things, and this is just going to conjure up and give you some inspiration to get going. If you want to be more detailed, you'll move on to the other columns. So we'll look at location. So it would be a jungle, forest, woods, beach, village, town, city. It could be all different places. Once you've got your location, you've got to decide on the goal. What's the goal of the mission? And we're just using one word here: rescue, secure, retrieve, raid. So for example, you might be going in the jungle to rescue someone or something, and then that would come into the objective. So perhaps you're going into the jungle to rescue a hostage. So you could either pick those or again roll them at random. Then you're going to have to decide who the enemy is you're going to be going up against. So you might be choosing your own special forces unit to start with, and then you can select your enemy from the long list as well. And that's going to play in certainly when you want to develop games where you're not just playing as warriors, where you're playing as the recruits or maybe the enlisted, and that's going to give you some different options there as well. And you might be going up against all different types, from guards, security, a whole battalion maybe, so who knows, but this is going to give you some good ideas. Then there's the deployment. So here we've included all the deployment zones and the deployment maps. So each map, as you'll see later on in this video, has got a designation: Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and so you can make it random or you can select. And then there's the win condition. The game is based around 10 different winning conditions, from objective control, elimination, exit point, points on the battlefield, survival, king of the hill, retrieval, resources, breakout, and a specific scenario that doesn't fit in to those other 9 winning conditions. So again, you can select there, or you could roll some dice. And then I had a column left over, some space there, so I've just done a nice long list of all the special forces, or a good amount of them from all different countries around the world, just to give you some inspiration. So it's nice and simple. It's twice as long as this. This is just the top half of the mission builder table. But if you can imagine going through location, goal, objective, enemy, and deployment zone, 36 for each. There is literally thousands and thousands of combinations here, so you're never going to run out of ideas, and you could just play a different mission every single time you played the game based on all these different sections and columns you can choose from. Then we've got the deployment zones, and included in the core book are 3 pages of deployment zone maps that you can choose from, all with their names that match the mission builder table. So you could pick one, or you can make it totally random. It's up to you, and you can even come up with your own. You don't have to stick to these, but I think this covers loads of different scenarios, and then you could pick one that matches it. So for example, if you were doing a scenario that was an ambush, perhaps you'd pick Alpha 3 that you can see there in the top middle of the page at the front. So that could be a great setup for an ambush. In some of the narrative campaign expansions like Tiger Blood, I'll pick these out and we'll choose the ones that we think will match the scenario. So for an ambush, it would certainly be Alpha 3, and in some scenarios, the winner of a previous mission could choose where to deploy, giving them an advantage over that specific scenario. So there's lots of fun to be had with these zones. Then here's a mission example just to show you what it looks like from the core book. We're going to go through this now and break it down. So when you complete your own mission sheet, you can use these 3 that are included in the main book as a guide. So we've got all different dates as well. As we talked about in the previous videos, the game is era and theatre of war agnostic. Here's the mission example then. We're going to go through it. We're going to have the number for the mission at the top. So this is Rogue Warriors Core Book 101. And then here you would have the date. So wherever you set it in the different wars and the different theatres, then you're going to choose the date and pop it in there. And then here, I just like to sum up in one line, really briefly, what's going on. So we're going to infiltrate the base, recover the laptop, exfil at 0500 hours. So from that information there's not much, but you know this is going to be at night, you know what you've got to do, and you know what you've got to get. So you've got to recover the laptop here. And then we'll go into a bit more detail. So we'll detail the location. In this case, for this example, it's the Coastal Research Complex. The action, we're going to retrieve intel. The objectives are going to be a laptop and 4 data storage devices. The enemy are going to be a special forces team tasked with also trying to recover those. And there's going to be an unlimited number of rounds. So you've really got as much time as you need to achieve the objectives. Then this just sums up what's going on. So the Civil War threatens to overwhelm the Coastal Research Complex. Valuable data has been left behind as scientists panicked and fled the location. Special forces teams have been deployed by multiple nation states to retrieve the valuable research material. So you know here exactly what's going on. That's all the background you need. With all the details laid out, you really know what you've got to do. But there's going to be some more as we're going to find out winning conditions and special instructions. So with the winning condition, we're playing exit point. So the mission is successful when the laptop and at least 2 of those storage devices are brought to the exfiltration site. Each player must exfiltrate in their own deployment zone, so you know where you've got to go. It's got to be really clear to both players how they win. And both players are trying to retrieve the intel. Then we've got special instructions, and you've got to locate the laptop, locate those 4 data storage devices represented with objective markers, and intel map below will show us the locations. Now objective markers can be anything from tokens to dice, or you can use some really cool little models if you've got them. This tells us who is who on the deployment map. So player 1 is going to be green team. They're going to deploy in the green zone. Player 2 is the red team. They're going to deploy in the red zone. And then for the map itself, you can see there's some other things. We've got a little key here with the laptop is the blue rectangle, and the data storage devices are going to be the blue circles. So this map is based on the 36 by 36 inch square, so you can work out nice and easy where you have to place everything. And that's all there is to it. Really simple. Using that table, you can come up with loads of ideas, flesh it out a little bit using the mission sheet, and you're good to go. The core book will give you 3 missions to get started with, and then you can use the design and mission section with the table and those deployment zones to create literally thousands and thousands of different missions, so you'll never run out of games to play. But if that's not your thing and you'd rather pick up missions that are already designed, then look out for our narrative campaigns like Tiger Blood, where we look at having 6 missions laid out in a narrative campaign style where you play out a story from start to finish. In this case, you can pick to be a special operations team or the terrorist Taurus Tigers, and you'll be going up against each other to retrieve some Stinger missiles. And you probably guessed this is hugely based on the 1990s movie Navy SEALs, which I love. I love that film, and so this is going to be based on that loosely and should be really fun. The game doesn't take itself too seriously, so Rogue Warriors and this mission building technique is perfect for recreating either movies, video games, or even recreating battles that actually took part. So you've got lots of flexibility here, but the main thing is just to enjoy the process and have fun. Now, Tiger Blood is already available, and what we do in these campaigns is we give you a bit more information about the factions or the teams that are taking part, and we're also going to theme all the different components of the mission. So we'll work through expertise, specializations. You'll have to create a platoon and then draw your mission teams from that platoon, and we even theme the weapons so that they match it. And in Tiger Blood, we've got weapons that suit the special operations team from the 1980s era, and we've also got a separate page of weapons and gear that match the terrorists from that time period as well. So really fun to make it all match and theme. But all the rules from the core rules that we go through in part 2 of this series are all you need to play the game, and then the narrative campaigns expand on that, maybe add a few other rules to add to the fun, but most of the game is all based on the core rules in that video. That's it now. We've gone through everything you need to know to play the game. We've gone through how to assemble a team. We've looked at the core rules and now how to design a mission. So it's time to get playing and have fun with the game. We'd love to see your teams that you put together. So come and join us on our Facebook group. Share some pictures. Let us know how you've been enjoying the game. We'd love to hear from you, and also share some missions that you build as well. That would be awesome. If you want to watch any more videos in this series, then as well as the How to Play 3-part series, there's lots of videos going through the core book, the Tiger Blood expansion, and also lots of other videos on the channel for building, painting, miniatures, terrain, everything you could imagine is there. So thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't picked up the book yet and would like to, the links are all in the description down below. But for now, thanks again for watching. If you liked it, it'd be great if you hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. A massive thank you to our Patreon supporters for helping us to keep going with these regular videos. There's loads of perks on there now as we're bringing out more games, including Population Z, Rogue Warriors and Weekend Warriors, and soon Lunaria Chronicles 2. So you're going to get loads of perks as we bring out one-shots, missions and campaign expansions for all those games. It'd be great to see you over on our Patreon. The link's in the description down below.